Welcome back to another video, y'all's favorite video, a week in crypto, or right now, currently retitled, what in the absolute is going on in crypto. So welcome to another video. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't really describe. You get docked and in trouble at YouTube if you curse within the first several minutes of a video. I don't know what sense that makes, so I'm gonna have to hold off. So I got a new package today. What is it? Y'all gonna have to stay tuned and see. But I don't even know how to open it. So before we go too far, just remember, help me out. Please hit the like button before we go any further. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Also, make sure you're in my Discord. I have a link right below in the description on how to get my Discord. Make sure you verify. We're discussing all kinds of projects. We have one guy who's, I don't know how in the hell he finds all these new projects, but I am myself in a new project that we found that somebody else found. And we discussed this in my general channel or in my other channel called Others Not Listed. I'm also messing with a new non-crypto project called Meshtastic, uploading some stuff in that. And it's just been crazy, but make sure y'all are in that Discord, please. All right, before we get too deep in this, I know some of y'all jump around. I want to make sure I hit this first because I'm going to mention this about 3 more times in this video. You're going to sick of hearing me saying, but I'm challenging every one of y'all that's in the Wingbits project today. By the time this video gets released, it'll be Tuesday. I don't know exactly what time. I'm going to try to release it as early as possible, even if it's in the middle of the night or the morning. Wingbits is having the AMA today. If you go to their Discord, it's going to populate the exact time for you on where you're at. I'm challenging everybody that's in Wingbits. I understand some of y'all at work. I'm going to be at work. I'm supposed to be having a meeting around this time. I'm trying to get out of this meeting at work just to be part of this. I want them to be flabbergasted. I want them to be, holy hell, look at the amount of people on this AMA that give a shit about what's going on right now in this project. I'm not saying go in there to start problems. I'm not in there to start challenging anybody. I just want them to be overwhelmed by the amount of people that are on this AMA. I'm challenging you to try to bring somebody else, challenge your friends, challenge people that you know that's in this project. I want to see them at this AMA. Then tonight, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, we'll be on Grumpy's Live Tuesday night for a rehash of this AMA. I won't have time to do a whole video on it of what's happening. I might be able to put one out Wednesday. I don't know yet, but make sure that you try to, at least for 10 or 15, 20 minutes, try to get in this Discord. I want to break the record. The record, I think, is close to 100. I want to see over 100 people in this AMA. I want to shut down the Discord servers, whatever it takes. I want to show them that we give a shit about what's going on and we care and that we ready for TGE or whatever happens next. Please let me see y'all there. Pass it on and I'll see y'all there. So look, crypto market's crazy right now. I look forward to normally doing these videos on Monday. I'm not gonna lie to you. They are long and drawn out. It takes several hours to get them out. That's why they don't usually come out till Tuesday morning, but it takes several hours to record them, edit them and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I started binge watching the TV show Landman. My wife got me started on it, and I sat up all night last night watching the entire first season, which they're almost an hour long. Almost the entire first season in one sitting. I didn't get that much sleep last night, but it reminds me a lot of going to Texas as a kid. I used to go hunting along with my dad. I didn't do the hunting. I just went along with him. 2nd and 3rd grade. I remember seeing all the oil pumps there, all derricks, whatever you want to call them. And just makes me think about those days more than anything to see that side of it. So it's a pretty good TV show. That's what I'm binge watching this week. My wife wanted to start the new season, and I'm like, nope, I gotta do the video tonight. So what the hell's going on in crypto? I don't know. Listen, I've been watching videos, and you got people talking about AMA and what's going to happen if, the 50 moving average. Listen, nobody knows what the hell's going on. Is some that's being manipulated? I really believe so. You do have, a big whale that sold and stuff like that, but you're also watching some of our projects going back up a little bit, recovering, and some of them have taken some serious dives. I don't know what the hell's going on. But going back to my new box that I'm gonna tease y'all with, because I'm very eager to open it. It appears that Customs has already. So going back to my new box that I keep teasing y'all with, it appears that Customs has already decided that they couldn't wait any longer and they wanted to open it up. So what is it? What is it, guys? Y'all been asking me over and over about this project, but we're gonna put off for a second. What's going on in crypto? I'm not going to hit too much on this because I'm trying not to make these videos over an hour and a half long. But the grumpy line that we've been watching pretty much since the beginning, when the crash started around November 9th, 10th, we've been hitting this line. And I told y'all, the big question is, when it finally breaks this, will it become support? This has been resistance. It's hit this line several times. We were down at one point. We went all the way down to 80,000. And now we're at 86, came up to about 89,000. I'm sorry. And we're at 88,000 right now. So again, we hit this line several times. It was resistance, hit it again. And it finally broke through. Not by much, really by this one candle. So this is the 3-hour chart. And we got to figure out what's going to happen from here. Are we back? I don't give those kind of predictions. I don't know. I ain't called nothing right in 10 years. But it's just something that we just need to look at and kind of figure it out. Look at XRP. Again, this is also the 4-hour chart. And same thing. We had that same trend. They're broken through pretty good. They've had a nice increase. I told y'all, if y'all still wanted to be in XRP, I don't have anything extra right now. I told y'all, I know y'all sick of hearing that. I'm trying not to always tell y'all how poor I am, but there's always something going on in my life and my family. So I didn't have any extra cheddar. I missed this big dip, but I told y'all, if y'all wanted to be back in XRP, if y'all wanted to play with it a little bit, under $2 seemed like it was a good spot. And, it was under $2 for a little while. It's coming up now. The question is does it just roll back over and go down again? Or is this going to be a start of a new trend? Grass has had a nice increase at a point. They were back up to close to 65 cents. And I see the current. Now, again, when you're seeing this trend like this, most of y'all know this already. And, I just like to talk about it, pretend like I know what the hell I'm talking about. But we know that when we have this kind of trend like this, and all of a sudden you have this crazy, this was a 50-60% increase. I remember seeing and getting alerts on it. I knew this wasn't going to last. This was something crazy going on. I don't know what it is. I haven't even looked at grass yet. I'll get to grass when I get there, and I'll start kind of doing that research on it. But if you say, if you kind of just eliminate this whole part right here, you can see that this was the trend that it should have been going in all along. So basically it's recovered to where it should be. Ethereum is kind of falling along that Bitcoin line also. You can see it went up a little bit and kind of broke the same trend, same line coming down, and kind of broke that same trend. Cardano's at 42 cents. Vet was at one point down to 1.2. And I wish I would have bought some more. Again, I don't have any cheddar to buy it, but I wish I would have bought some more. Also, probably one of my biggest holdings also is Crow. And Crow is down at 9 cents. Paid some bills with my Crow card as usual and made some very good profits just from passive income or whatever you want to call it, the rewards from using my Crow card. And I'm not cashing that out. I had to spend a little bit to pay some bills last week. It killed me, but it is what it is. But in turn, to pay those bills, I used the Crow card. Of course, I didn't even out or anything like that, but I use my Crow card for everything. So I'm not planning on cashing on anything soon. So I hope it stays at this 9-10 cents because I make a lot of good rewards with Crow this low. All right, so what did Santa Claus bring me? Y'all ready to open this up? If I can figure out how to open it up without cutting my fingers off. Won't shoot my eye out with a BB gun, I promise. Even though my parents did not, even though I hunt and have guns now, my parents did not buy me a BB gun as a kid. Apparently I need a sharper knife. What is it? It's peanuts, guys. It's peanuts. It's the closest thing that Louisiana's going to get to snow this year. One. How to mount an antenna. It is 4D Sky. Y'all been asking if I was getting one in. Here is 4D Sky. So this is dropping Wednesday on Helium Deploy. And I can tell you right now, already feeling this box, I do agree with the other people. This thing is solid. I thought it was close to a sense cap. To me, it's almost the identical size of a sense cap. Like during the Helium days, doesn't have the vent holes in it, but it is hard plastic, hard metal. Got the ports in the back. This is going to be a pretty solid device. You know, definitely not cheap by any means. Let's see what else I got in this box. I have a power supply. Comes with some antenna cable. I don't know about this length and this thickness though. But hey, it comes with it at least. So for all y'all who don't want to spend after spending $1,000 on this, y'all don't want to spend any more. Comes with a Cat 5 Ethernet cable with the brackets, and comes with a second Cat 5 feed line with another bracket for the antenna. So you have two different antennas, and I'm gonna look at both of them and say, since 1090 is the shorter wavelength, I'm gonna think this short one is gonna be 1090, and yes, it is. So this one says ODSB 1090 and GPS. So they combination. They stole this trick from Motorola, I guess. I'm just being sarcastic, but Motorola combines it like that too in our handhelds. And then I also have a 978 UAT. So some of y'all who are asking, did it come with both antennas? Yes, it came with both antennas, 978, and that's why, from what I understand, the price increases a little bit more with the one from Helium Deploy. So at some point between busting out this video tonight and tomorrow night having a live, I need to also punch out a 4D Sky breakdown video. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to put it together on video, just because I also have a job at work tomorrow. But I have to get that video out tomorrow, which if y'all watching this on Tuesday, that means I have to get the video out today technically, because I need to have it out so everybody knows about it before the drop tomorrow on Helium Deploy. You have 1 day and 16 hours when I make this. There's only 200 units being deployed, released at this time, with a 5,400 point bonus. Again, I know it's not cheap. Luckily, Helium Deploy sent this to me to do a video on. I thank them very much, because Grumpy didn't have this kind of cheddar to be doing that. If you're the EU, mine came with the 113, with the 978. I have to find out. I was told by somebody that this was supposed to be included, and I see right here is an option to add it. So I have to find out what's going on with that. They did have a live stream today with the aviation industry talking about 4D Sky. Y'all can check that out. And I've told y'all several times about this Moken D-pin tracker. I like it. I have almost all my projects in this where I can track all of my D-pin projects. Lets me know if I have devices offline or anything like that. And there's a basic plan and a $49 plan. But again, if you get this device, you will get 3 months free, 3 bonus months of the Moken D-pin tracker. So check that out. All right, so moving on to what y'all actually came here for. We're gonna start discussing some of these projects and what's going on with those. All right, so we can start going over these videos if I can get my dog to quit barking in the other room. She's not happy. It's 7 p.m. and my dog knows when it's 7 p.m. it's treat time every evening at 7 p.m. She thinks it's a treat. Really, it's for her joints, but she thinks it's a treat. So, and it's 7 p.m. and I'm not over there to give her a treat. So she's going to bark in that living room until I go do it. So let me go ahead and start this part though. So here's our projects. Now, some of our projects, like I said, still dipping in price. Some of them recovering. Some of them are still sideways. One that the rewards have stayed consistent. I checked it. The rewards are still consistent. The reward side is consistent, but the token price is taking a complete dump, and that is Chirp. Chirp is for the 23rd week in a row is number 1. I'm going to give you a hint. The number 2 project is right on its heels, and if Chirp keeps going in the direction it's going, it is no longer going to be in first place next week. And it's quite sad because Chirp, for the longest time, was one of our best projects, clearly out about up above, ahead of what everything else was doing. Now, this was just 3 months ago in August, and you had Chirp at $6 a day, $6.60 a day. When I took this sample, it was at 6.5 cents. Now we're at 2.5 cents, and we're hitting, like I said, $1.83. So we're still getting, like I said, 144 tokens every 2 days. It's the end of each epoch. So at least that part's consistent. Rewards have been staying the same. Chirp KAGE, I don't include in this because I don't think it's fair to even discuss this Chirp KAGE because, well, like where I live at and where I work at, there are no beacons anywhere around it. And some people have so many beacons in the area, they stumble and trip over them. So I just don't think it's right to sit here and compare because, you know, one area of a country or state or city might have a bunch and some people don't have that opportunity around them. I don't. So I don't include what I'm doing from Chirp KAGE at all, but I can tell you I'm getting a couple of dollars a month and that's about it. And I do get a couple of beacons every now and then when I go into Baton Rouge, but it's just not worth really discussing. Like I said, Chirp has come down 14.5% since last week. So they're definitely not one that's recovering. I think part of this, and this is just me, I don't know this for a fact, but I just noticed looking at my own tokens, a lot of tokens are probably coming unlocked from when they first started releasing KAGE and some other stuff they were doing. And a lot of us staked that stuff. And like right now, basically all my stakes have come unstaked. I'm not restaking them right now. I am contemplating restaking about half of them because I think this price is so low, it's hard for me to sell. And that kind of brings me to a point that I wanted to discuss earlier is, you know, as usual, I waited too long to sell, but we didn't really have this big blowout alt season. Some people are arguing we're still going to have it. Some people say we're just not going to have it. I don't know. We're going to wait and see. But y'all tell me what y'all doing. Like we discussed this in my live and on my Discord that do you just take your lick now and sell now and try to make whatever you can from it? Or do you say, look, it's just too low to even do anything with, it's complete crap, and I'm just going to hold on to it and hope for the best? I don't know. I'm kind of contemplating doing both, to be honest with you. The bigger projects that I have a lot of hope in, Chirp, and some of the other ones, I'm probably going to hold on to those tokens and not sell. Some of the other projects that I think are going to be struggling continuously for a while, if not indefinitely, I'm going to sell those tokens. Just take, if I make $20 out of it, make $20 out of it. So let's keep going. So for those of y'all who are new here, I want to say this also. Just because I critique projects or I call them out on certain things does not mean I'm not in support of a project. I know some people don't understand how that works or think that that's bass backwards, and I understand that. Sorry, but perfect example is, as I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to call out Chirp on this because Chirp has this, which sounds cool on the surface, announcement. Every IoT system depends on 3 core layers: hardware layer with sensors. They built the connectivity level already. Second, the connectivity layer that delivers data from physical world to cloud. Then third, the software layer. So they're saying that they've already built the connectivity layer. Then they should have the Chirp platform acts as operating system for IoT. And then connectivity and software layers evolving together. Chirp moves in position. Listen, I am a fan of Chirp. My hope was always that the Chirp project would get right what Helium did wrong. Helium was 1.0 and Chirp was going to come later. I'm still in support of Chirp. I'm still running Chirp, but I do question a lot of things they do. And when they make comments or announcements like this. So I want you to look at this map right here and tell me, does this look like a project or a network that is ready to go, that has positioned themselves in whatever they were just talking about in that announcement? Not if you hear, not if you hear, not if you hear. Like, this is the complete opposite of Helium. This is the complete opposite. Now, because they're from Germany, you're right. So they have, this thing wants to let me zoom in. So you're right. But even when you zoom in on Germany, it's a lot of open areas. A lot of open areas. So how are you positioning yourself as a network? And it also goes back to, for me to say, what has the Chirp KAGE app been doing this whole time? So to get a miner with Chirp, you have to buy the Skyward Soarer. You know, they got a bunch of Skyward Soarer NFTs here. Some of them are being bid on, but when you go up here to sell or what's sold, they have one for $1,500, which is way overpriced. It's $3,200. The other one was $1,500. These things are like $800 when they're released. Even if you buy one for $800 right now, you're looking at about 400 days to ROI at the price it's at now. So just remember that. And the reason I say all that is because, again, I like the Chirp project. I'm trying to think how I want to put this. But to be successful, they need more network. They need more locations. The only way that's going to do that is by getting miners in the hands of these people who want them. And let this NFT thing that's still going on, where anybody can buy the NFT, then scalp the price for $1,500 or $1,000 or $1,200. That makes the ROI just out of place. I understand where they're coming from with Helium. You know, they didn't want to be like Helium. And I understand that. Look, I had in New Orleans, I had, 4 or 5 miners within my own hex. In the New Orleans hex itself, they were way oversaturated, so we were getting dinged on that. And I understand that. But you are way far away from that problem right now. So, Chirp needs to figure out which direction they can go in and put more effort. If they really want to be an IoT network, they're going to need to put some effort into that IoT stuff and not this KAGE finding imaginary beacons thing. All right, moving on. Next is going to be GEODNET. GEODNET right now, you're making $1.65 a day. GEODNET is one of those rare projects right now that have had a good increase. And I think that goes to show you what a lot of us have been saying all along, is that GEODNET is a very strong project, and I'm happy to be a part of it. For a week, other than this one little dip right here, they were consistently in the green. They were down at 12 cents about 2-3 weeks ago. They're back up to 13.5 cents, almost 14 cents now. And again, I think it's because this project is a very strong project. We all know that about GEODNET. But nothing really going on as far as announcements. They're doing their thing. They got an AMA last week, but that's over with by now. And they're just doing their thing right now. All right, moving on from GEODNET. Next is going to be Onocoy. Onocoy has had a pretty decent price increase. Quite surprising, to be honest with you, when you look at what it was. So a week ago, Onocoy was under 2 cents, and they're now at 3 cents. They were at 3.5 cents a little while ago, and they've come back down a little bit, but still very strong showing to Onocoy, which puts them in the third place. And I didn't change the ranking part, but they're at almost $1 a day. Again, right now. This could all change next week, so some of y'all can make comments. I know y'all are, but as of right now, today, this is what we're making in Onocoy. Now, Onocoy still has not shown up on CoinMarketCap, and I think to be a serious project, at some point they need to hit that spot. But I'm happy and pleased to see where Onocoy is right now. So part of this is they have burned 250,000 tokens, permanently reduced the supply, reinforcing value for the community. Every burn reflects real activity, utility within the network. So apparently you have paying customers. They're using that money to buy and burn their tokens. And like you said, they're up to 250,000 tokens that have been burned. And just in case you were wondering, Onocoy does have approximately 809 million total supply. At least that's what Bird Eye is showing on it. But that's really it from and look, that's a big deal that they burn that much. So I don't want to make it sound like it isn't much, but there's no really announcements or anything like that. They do have a monthly Onocoy recap and AMA if you're interested in that, and that's going to be whatever time this is in your section, but it will be Wednesday, November 26th. Whatever your section of the world is. This says 4:30 p.m. CET time, so you can figure that out from there. That's 9:30 a.m. my time. All right, moving on. Number 4 is going to be ROVR. Currently making, and again, it's hard to say what I'm making a day on this because you get paid once a week, and depending on what I drive versus what your drive could be different. But I'm averaging, I'm trying to use kind of the same numbers just to give you an idea. Fluctuate it with the price. But right now I'm making about 74 cents a day. Now, I did drive, if any of y'all watch my live, I did drive to Missouri at the beginning of this month. I had my ROVR going the entire time, so that was about an 8.5 hour drive there. Then 3 hours to the other side of the state when I was changing hunting locations, and then 8 hours back. And I made, I think it was about $30 just from that one trip. So hey, it's better than nothing. The ROVR price is down about 6%. It was at 0.0096 and is at 0.0090. And what I guess I put the bad luck on myself, but last week I did say how, normally this hovers around this 1 cent price. So it's actually lower now than it's been for a while, but it used to hang around this 1 cent and it would recover. And I don't know if they were adding liquidity to this to bring it back up. Maybe they don't have anymore. They are a new project. I don't know. That's just me speculating. I don't know. When you go and you look at the announcements page, all they really have is that they had an AMA with GeoDNet, and you can go back and watch it and kind of see what that was about. But no other really announcements from ROVR at this time. Moving on. Next is going to be Entropy. Entropy had a dip in price since last week, but they also had a little bit of recovery today. Now you can see how it has been steadily going down along with everything else, but it's been steadily going down all month. And maybe we're turning the corner here. It is kind of flattening out, but we'll see what happens. I will just really quickly recap on this coffee thing because some of y'all have lost your minds over it, like got all pissy and stuff. This is just something that a company can do. It doesn't matter which company it is. Any company can do it, that they can get their label on this coffee and it gets sent out, whether it's gifts, sold, or whatever like that. And Entropy did it just to get their brand out there. It's no big deal. Some people have just lost their mind over the fact that price is going down and they're concentrating on coffee. But some people are attacking them because they're thinking that they went away. They made money on all these miners and then they just disappeared. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're sitting here doing more stuff. They're sitting here making this, and then they also have this capital markets thing that I'm not even pretend like I know anything about it. They've tried to explain it to me. I've had some of y'all try to explain it to me. I don't really understand too much of it. But my point is, they're not just sitting back and just spending their money that they made on NFTs or the miners. They're still out here working, and some people are happy about it. I'm happy about it. They're showing that they're still here. They're still working, still building in the project. Some of y'all are unhappy because you can't please everybody. I don't know what else to say. But we're down to like 39 cents, which is sucks. I don't know how else to put that. It sucks. When you go back and look at previous months on this sheet, as I was sitting there looking for Chirp, I noticed that I also had at some point Entropy was ahead of Chirp, and Chirp was making $5 and $6 a day. So that shows you what Entropy was making. So it has tumbled down a good bit. I'll continue to say this is I'm not stupid. I know how the game works. I know that by selling a certain amount of miners, you were going to have a drop in rewards. I truly thought that by making, but especially for how much advertising they're doing, socializing they're doing, I really thought the token price, maybe not exactly. Look, I'm not stupid. We weren't going to continue to make $6 a day every day, but I didn't have a problem with $1 or $2 a day every day. And I really thought the token price would offset the decrease in tokens we were getting. And that's where I kind of guessed wrong at. But I'm still mining. I still have 3 ESP32s going behind me. 4 Ashlers. I paid for some of those Ashlers, so don't make it sound like I got them for free. And I just keep collecting. Every Monday, I sit here and I collect my entropy. So moving on to number 6 is going to be junk. Junk's another one that fell a little bit since last month, and it is slowly trying to recover. And it's even recovered a little bit since I last updated the price. So we'll see what happens with it. But right now you're making about 26 cents a day in junk. Just looking at the Discord, no announcements at all. Somebody asked, is this project done or the devs are work in progress? And they're saying, we're still working on the project. You also have full-time jobs and families. We understand that, but we know they're working on the project. It's not like Irwin, where there's just no talk of anything. Let me see. You have to go back 5 days, 6 days to find, where I commented. But I don't know what happened to Irwin. All right, moving on to number 7. Number 7 is going to be DIMO. DIMO is at 17 cents per day right now. And with DIMO, you're looking at, DIMO has kind of held strong for the last 7 days. They were at 0.021 cents last week. They're at 0.021 cents now. So you have to give them that part at least. They have had still a 46% drop for the month. But like some other projects, we've seen a little bit of tail up right here at the end. Maybe they're turning the corner. Maybe it'll be like this one where it comes up and comes right back down. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Stay tuned for next week on that. No announcements at all from DIMO other than when Cloudflare was crashing on the 18th. So no updates from DIMO at all. All right, moving on. It's going to be Honey Gains Pawn EarnApp. Ditto from what I've said the last 10 weeks in a row. EarnApp, I just made another claim on EarnApp today to try to have a little spending money. My son and I are going hunting this weekend, and I need some spending money for going to get stuff to eat, snacks from the grocery store, snacks from the gas station, because that's healthy, what every healthy boy needs. But y'all know my deal. I don't have to say it. So again, I'm gonna tell you right now, EarnApp by far is the number 1 project by far. So as you can see there, number 1, EarnApp by far is my number 1 project. Now, I do have a number of machines running it, old computers, old Pis. Every one of my Wingbits devices is running EarnApp because they're all on separate networks that I pay for with either straight to ISP with discounts that I have at different locations or at friend's house and host house. And then I just, increased maybe their percentage that I'm giving them with Wingbits, and I just with the EarnApp, and I'll tell them what I'm doing with it. Some of them have third-party software on them. I have been starting to scale back the third-party software because I'm having too many issues with it, too many crashes with it. And if I have to sit here and keep visiting those places to redo SD cards, I don't need the third-party software. All right, so we're moving on. Let's rocking and rolling so you can get through this. We moved up our EarnApp, so you can see EarnApp is number one by far. I think I've cashed out over $1,000 worth of EarnApp since May, June. Yes, over $1,000. Next, 375 AI, or the token they call EAT. I don't know who makes up these names, but EAT. So it's down 1% for the week again, which is, I think it's a good thing. 1% is not nothing. It was at 4.755 last week. It's at 4.6. It's really hardly any kind of difference. So we can see that we've had, a little bit of volume going through Bitmart, KuCoin that's kind of calmed down, Bybit. So maybe this big sell-off that people were doing with the 375 AI token has kind of calmed down some. So my first epoch, and I don't know how long that was, I don't want to lie to you, I made $10. So next epoch has 21 hours left on it. So we're going to see how much I make on that second epoch. And no announcements at all from 375 in the announcement section. Community news. Let's see. Nope, no community news. 375 Go updates. No, nothing. Nothing. All right, so moving on. We got Nubila. I don't know what the hell is going on with Nubila. I can tell you right now, this number right here is by far not correct. And look, I'm not too embarrassed to tell y'all, I don't even know how to read what I'm making off the Nubila app. So on the Nubila app, it has on top 181,000 remaining rewards, whatever. I don't know what remaining reward means. But on the bottom, it says total earnings 97,000. So again, it doesn't meet up with my 181. And it's not, this doesn't tell me what I'm pulling in per day with my Nubila. Now, if I go to the dashboard, see, and right now I see where I got a 2x boost. I have the cloud node. I have the Marco. But that's all I see. When I go to mining, see, now it's going to show up. Before it didn't show up at all. I see 2 airdrop amounts. But I'm trying to find my daily tokens. Daily tokens. All right, so here we go. I found it under claim and stake. So right here, it tells me how I'm getting 12.85 Nubila per day. I don't see any rewards from my node since October 19th. So I thought maybe I would get some from November 19th. So I had to find out and see if I can look into why are we not getting any rewards from these nodes we bought that we paid, at least I paid $300 for. When you look at the token price, this is disgusting. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm usually the first person that is trying to defend projects when people want to sit there and say they got rug pulled. And I'm usually the one saying, look, a steady sell off, anything like that is not a rug pull. People are just going to sell some tokens. I don't know if I can say that about this one. We lost 86% in a week. 86% in a week. Somebody please explain to me how that happens. We went from 4 cents, 4.5 cents down to half a penny right now. So right now we're making 7, almost 8 cents a day is what we're making off the Nubila project. So basically it's going to take you 4,000 days to do an ROI on Nubila. I don't know what's going on with this project. So I asked him, I'm going to find out. No, I should have got more than 2 rewards from having the cloud node, I would think. But you know, like I said, with this project, you look at this dashboard, I don't know what the hell's going on with this. You know, I have a total airdrop. I've claimed some of them. I can see that I'm getting the reward history, like I said, every day. But when you look to the right, you don't see any node until you get to October 19th. And then I have one a week before that on the 10th. And that was it. Two rewards for nodes. So I don't know, what's going on with that. You can see that I have my BSC wallet attached. But sometimes you go to mining and it says I have 0 everything. 0. Go to earn. Go to buy nodes. Yeah, right. Go to referral. I know I had referrals on here. I don't know what the hell happened to them. Then I go back up, and then mining now will show that I have 1 node. Then it says total rewards, but that's total test newbie, not real newbie. This is just confusing, and we'll see. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and backtrack right now and say like I didn't say half the stuff I did say, because I know I'm not about all that. I had hope for this project when I was watching a lot of videos about them. Supposedly the team they had was affiliated with certain weather people and certain weather gambling sites and stuff like that. I'm questioning a lot of it now. I again, remember, none of this ever is financial advice. I can't tell you what's going on with it. You read, they still have admins and mods in their Discord telling everybody just take a deep breath, and this was bound to happen because TGE, you always have people selling. I'm sorry, you don't have this type of selling off. You got basically a 93% sell off right now, 94% sell off from where it released at, which was 10 cents. And then now it is at 6.0059 cents. And I don't know what to make of it. I'm sure they got some people talking about somewhere. I'm about to do some more research on it. I don't know what to do from here. I have, what I said, $55 from it. I am not one to cause FUD. I'm telling everybody they need to be cautious. They need to be paying very close attention to what's going on with this. If it is some type of rug pull, has all the damage been done, or are they going to be doing any more? Do you take $55 out, or do you have people out there who still are in this project or still believe in this project that are going to buy tokens when it's low, thinking they're getting a good buy? I don't know, because that would have started happening kind of by now. It's confusing, and we just have to see and just, like I said, play close attention to it. All right, moving on, so we don't not here all night. Battle for last place. Nubila is probably going to be here next week the way they're looking. DIMO might be back over here next. Or you know what? If all these projects keep sucking the way they're sucking, everybody might be in a battle. There might be just one big battle for last place. Weather XM. In the last week they haven't really done anything, which is a good thing. They're down 14%, but it's not really that crazy because it was at 5.5 cents, and it's barely not at 5 cents now. It's not that bad. See, now I was gonna say it. See, so apparently this price is still kind of fluctuating at the end. Y'all saw where it's at 15%, now it's at 7%. I don't. I think Weather XM's already taken its hits. I don't know what's going on with it next. If you're interested, they are having a Black Friday sale. So if you want to go and make 16 cents a day with the rest of us, hey, here's a Black Friday sale, up to 40% off. I hope so. There it is. If y'all interested in getting in some more. Fun fact about that is I've already had my office Weather XM station replaced once because it went out. I told you all these look like cheap, crappy plastic play school devices. And now I have which I thought was the better built station. And I told y'all this weather station. And I actually have that one. Fun fact is I actually have that one Here it is right here. That's cool. Looks like my whole solar panel has got these crazy little bubbles in it. Y'all can see that. But as of right now, it is offline. So I guess I will be starting the fun of doing some troubleshooting with the Weather XM people. Again, this station's not that old, but trying to get back online so I can make my 16 cents a day. And honestly, I've been through that troubleshooting before. They were pain in the ass to deal with. They want you to show you have to show them a video of you taking a brand new pack of batteries, completely sealed, you freshly opening that package and taking those said batteries, putting them into the station, all on video, and then showing what reaction it has. If it has red blinking light or whatever like that, then they give you one or two more steps, and then also you got to do something else. You got to do something else and put it all on video. They keep sending it to them, send it to them, and eventually I lost my shit. And then eventually they then replaced my first one for 16 cents a day. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all that. I have to wait and see. But that's Weather XM. Moving on, as our battle last place is Grass. Grass has had a little bit of a comeback, if you call 38 cents a comeback. So last week they mentioned that a video or a photo or some kind of social media, something popped out of about their device that they're going to be selling soon, the Grasshopper, something like that. Listen, this is why I said this disclaimer in the beginning. I know I am always negative, but sometimes you see through the bullshit. And right now, grass has got so much bullshit you can't cut the grass, can't touch the grass. It's filled the whole field is filled with bullshit, with cow shit, with duck shit, and I hate to keep cursing, but I don't. It's just BS, and you need swamp those white boots that those swamp crawfish guys wear right now. That's how bad that this bullshit is with this project right now. And it's funny that even and y'all say I might complain too much, but even some of the cheerleaders are now coming onto the grumpy side of the field. Some of the guys who were cheerleading before, who were always kind of butting against me months ago about why does it take so long to do rewards when you already did rewards before? It shouldn't take this long. Now they are starting to tote the line with Grumpy. They even starting to agree that it should not take this long. You had a little bit of a bump in the price. You had 2.7. You went up to 56 cents. So you went from 27 to 50. So you basically doubled in price when this news broke out about this stupid grasshopper, an image of it. And it came back down to earth. And here we are again. Hey, I guess that shows that with a little bit of positive news, this project might be able to do something. It is up 37% in a week. Still, we'll take that positivity, but then I'll go ahead and kick you in the kneecaps and tell you we're still down 10% for the month. I will say, like, Mondays is horrible at my job for me to do anything. With me being in IT and RF and all stuff like that, I have to clean up what fresh hell is waiting for me every Monday morning. So whatever people break over the weekend, whatever people need troubleshot over the weekend, Mondays is the worst day for me to get. I never ever schedule meetings on Monday. I don't do anything on Monday. My Mondays start out hectic at work, and then I got to come deal with this, which I enjoy doing for y'all. But still, I tell y'all, it takes. I'm going on 3 hours right now doing this just what I've recorded so far. There's no way I could have sat doing a video today on grass or a meeting. So I don't know anything that happened on the token holder call today. They did have an agenda, which I thought was pretty cool, of kind of what's going on. I don't know if they discussed anything. I don't know if they discussed when's the next, because there's all kinds of rumors going on out there about when is the next rewards going to come out. That, oh yeah, they said it's coming out in February. I did not see anything about that. Now, whether or not I missed it, I don't know, but they wanted everybody to participate. I'll give them that when they're live and everything else. So I don't know what's happened. I have not been into the general. I will say that a lot of us have this same type of mentality. The first time we had 18 months plus an air drop bonus and stuff like that. We don't have that this time. And I think plus along with the token price, this is going to be very disappointing. The question comes in is, this is also a very, very passive, easy passive income project. So if you do have very piss poor rewards, are you going to continue mining it? And I don't know yet. I'm going to cross that bridge when it comes. Part of me just wants to get rid of some of these crappy projects that are paying me 12 cents a day. But again, if they're just running in the background of stuff, then why get rid of them? With Grass, I do have to go to those desktops every now and then. It only runs on desktops. It doesn't run anymore on Dockers, on the Raspberry Pis and third-party stuff. And part of me wonders if they're doing that on purpose so that you do buy a Grasshopper. I can tell you right now. Now, if Helium deploys, somebody sends me one for free, like they did this 4D Sky. I never asked for 4D Sky. I got a text message from them or email or something saying, hey, we're sending you a 4D Sky. We'd like you to test it out, put it through the page and do a video. If they send me a Grasshopper, I can't stop it. But I can tell you right now, I'm not requesting one. I'm not buying one. Right now, you can run this on old equipment. There's no reason to run this on a Grasshopper. And the way that they're going, I don't know when the hell a Grasshopper would even be here compared to, how long it takes them just to even give us rewards. So no news on Grass, and I don't know. Natix. Natix is another one that's just disappointing to me because at one point I had several $100 worth of Natix, and last I checked, that was down to like 200 something bucks. It's very disappointing because one time I was on here making a video or a live or something like that, and I'm like, let me just see what my Natix is worth. And it was worth like $800, $900. Again, I give projects too much hope, too much faith, too much heart, and I have not touched it, but that same amount right now is now worth only $327. Um, Again, I just keep holding on to this one too long, and I just keep worried that at some point, is it starting to turn around? Is it going to turn around a little bit? Down 50% for the week, is down 30% for the month, is down 40% for the year. But as you can see, it's had some spikes. And is this them putting liquidity into it? I don't know. My hope is that with 100 billion Natix, you would like to see at least eat 10 because that's where it kind of should be. It eats 10. I'm looking at kind of reversing this number. If this eats 10, basically you add a 0 to where my rewards are, and I'm looking at $3,000. I'm not holding my breath for that. I'm not stupid. Don't get me wrong, because it was even if you look at the last year, it was never up to 0.003. It was up to 0.001. But I'm just telling you, with 100 billion Natix, you can guesstimate that it should be around 0.00. But even if it goes to 0.001, I'm back to my $900 amount. I'd be ecstatic. I'd be happy with that. And that's why I'm kind of holding out. Again, am I going to hold out too long? Who knows? Next month I could come on here and this 300's worth $100. I don't know. Coming to Natix announcements, there's no announcements. It's just they're giving this reward. Look, I want to know what's going on with the freaking project. Natix has said more than once that their rewards now will be kind of tapered away from the drive thing that we're doing and be more for the VX360. I think it's called, for Teslas. And we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of this month. I'm sorry for showing that, but there's no other news other than that. That's about it. Now, I kind of wish I knew what the hell's going on with Natix. Do they have customers? Are they going to be buying more tokens, adding some liquidity to this? I would hope so. If they have potential customers, who knows? All right, and moving on. Next is going to be Silencio. Silencio, you know, they had a slight fall over the last week. They're at 0.0012. They're at 0.000112 now. So they have had a little bit of a drop in the last week. But for the month, they're down 52%. Again, I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but apparently the translation thing is not working. Now, what I will tell y'all is somebody the other day on my live convinced me to try out the Silencio voice thing. Now, one thing I don't understand is this completely separate from your voice? I mean, I'm sorry, your noise farming project, because at no point did it ask me to combine both these projects. So apparently you're getting raffle tickets and you're getting stuff for the whole noise measurement thing, and this is completely separate. So you have different types of campaigns, train AI, where it's free speech, where it asks you different questions, and then you press start recording and you just start talking freely like I'm talking to you, but you kind of hit on all 5 of these subjects. You can do that. What you also have here is the keywords, where you just sit right here, and I don't know if it's going to let me do it while I'm here. So what I'll do is, just to show y'all real quick how this works, is I'll hit start recording and I'll say, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog near the riverbank. My microphone check pass. And then I'll do quick to start recording. Flight, plane, train, bus, taxi, ticket, hotel, luggage, passport, boarding, gate, station, map, car, metro, bike, ferry, check-in, reservation, tour, guide. And you hit submit. Then it tells you, asks you what the area is around you. Background noise, nothing. It's silence. Where am I? I am at home. And how do I feel? I feel happy, because I love being with y'all. That's it. That's basically what you do. You can do that. So I added 42 tokens. Now you can go also to the monologues, and I'm not gonna sit and read this right now, but you press start recording and you just read this. And listen, it's not hard, but it's a little weird, because I'll sit here and just still somehow add a word in between here. Like I might say important, I forgot it, or something like that. I'm like, it's not in there. Why is my brain seeing that or saying that? But basically same thing. You hit click to start recording and blah, 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 blah. Then you earn 226 app tokens, so that's basically how this Silencio thing works. It's not that hard if you're bored, and, but again, I'm going to sit here and I'm planning on doing a couple of them for the month, and I want to see what I make, see what it's worth. Yeah, I will know whether it was worth. Nobody's yet to report to tell me kind of, hey, I did this for 3 hours and I made X amount of dollars. Or I did this for 15 minutes every day and I made $30 for the month. I don't know. So I'm curious to see what it's like. So that's Silencio. No other announcements with them. Nothing else going on. I forgot they do have this contest going on right now. For those of y'all who already on Voice AI, tune in. Silencio is giving away $500 in a raffle to anyone who logs at least 1 hour voice recordings by the end of the month. So deadline is at the end of the month, Sunday. This is your chance to earn this by contributing. And if you haven't joined, do all that. So you have a chance of winning $500. So they do this other Voice AI challenges, 300. So moving on. Here we go. Next is going to be Helium IoT. Helium IoT. Again, I call it every time. I call it the cockroach. For those of y'all who don't have cockroaches, look them up. Cockroaches have survived literally since the dinosaur age. They will be here. Helium, IoT, and dinosaurs. Helium, IoT, and cockroaches will be left after the next nuclear holocaust. So while helium doesn't look like it did much, it's done a lot. It was at 225 last week when we looked at it, but it was down to $1.70. Came back up today to $2.37. And it's back down right now at 222. So it has moved a decent bit in the last week. It's up 15% just for the day, and for the month, it's up 12%. Hey, man, maybe we're on our way back. No announcements at all, but we're still making about 6 cents a day on my devices. I wanted to sit back and kind of take a deep breath and kind of explain this to y'all. Earlier, I made mention that I'm taking some of my projects off of third-party projects. They're just failing too much right now. Can't get the support I need. And the main reason I've had them on third-party software or firmware, whatever you want to call it, is because they're Helium devices. Helium won't let you SSH into the device even though you paid for it. I think that's bullshit, but it's neither here or there. So with third-party devices, I could keep the Helium going in addition to also running EarnApp on it, Wingbits on it, Honeygain on it, and those type of devices like that, those type of things like that. The problem is by me taking third party off, I'm going to have to make a decision on whether or not I can make Helium IoT with it or putting Raspberry Pi or something like that on it and making OS and making Wingbits on top of EarnApp on top of everything else. And that's what I'm going to do. 6 cents to me while I'm trying to keep the Helium dream alive, that it goes back up to $40 again. Let's all be honest, we'll never see it again. So right now, I told y'all with EarnApp being my #1 project and what I'm making a day in EarnApp, it does not make any sense for me to keep a Helium device going just to keep third party, or keep third party going just for Helium. I have started already. I've taken 2 of my devices, wiped off, or took a whole new SD card, put Raspberry Pi OS on it, put Wingbits on it, and put EarnApp on it, and whatever else, little Tailscale and Honeygain or whatever else I can put on it at this point, and I'm leaving devices like that. I'm not saying it's the end of Helium in me, but there are some places where they're on the same network, so I don't need to go worry about putting EarnApp on it, and they don't have a Wingbits DIY device. I'm trying to spread those around the country, so I can I'll keep Helium on it. But what I've also found is that some spots where I had Helium between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, less and less and less Helium devices are online, and therefore my rewards are getting even worse than what you see now. I'll be dead honest with y'all. I'm exhausted. I haven't even recalculated what this is. It's been around $2.20 something cents, 30 cents for the last 2 months, maybe, I think. And I still got 17 stations online. I know they're still making about 0.02 to 0.3 H&T a day, even though a lot of those clustered around here. I got 15 or 16 stations between some people who still have them online around here and mine. So those are witnessing each other. And compared to the ones in Baton Rouge and the ones in New Orleans, the ones in Baton Rouge I have are still making actually like 0.1 or 0.08 or 0.09 Helium a day. I'd keep those going, but the ones in New Orleans have went to shit. The ones around here for some reason they're getting less and less. It just doesn't. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I've taken them offline before and I put them back online. I don't know. I've seen them on all day about it, but some of them are definitely. I've already wiped them. Some of them have been wiped. But let's keep going. Wingbits. So I said this earlier, and I'm probably gonna take that section of the video and do it again. So this will probably be the 3rd time I'm saying this. Wingbits tomorrow or today in a little while, because you're probably gonna see this tomorrow morning on Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. my time. Go to the Wingbits Discord. This is gonna be adjusted for your time. Make sure you're on here. Please, for me, please for Wingbits, please for yourself, please for everybody else who is in this project. Take 10, 15 minutes of your time at some point tomorrow, longer if you can. Please, whatever time this says for you, this will be adjusted for your time zone. Please try to make this. I think to show these people that we are still 100% serious with this, I think we need more than this. I don't know. I wanted to ask Mike what, I still call him Axie, what is the record for the amount of people we have ever had at AMA? I want to bust that easily. I think by having a lot of people on here, it's going to show them that we want TGE. We're still here, and it's time to move forward. Now, again, I speak out of both sides of my mouth. You don't have to tell me that. I understand, and it's getting even more. I don't want to say the words violent. Violent doesn't matter. It's getting more heated. It's getting more lively, if that's the word you want to use, but more lively in the more and more people getting lively in the Discord about TGE. People making some comments that might be their opinion. I respect other people's opinion, even if it's wrong. People making some just outlandish claims about, we don't have TGE, so they're about to get passed up or going to get passed up, or they got other competition coming and stuff like that. Listen, y'all know I am 200% on board with Wingbits. Part of me is, if this thing goes through January for TGE, that's 20% extra rewards on each station. I want to keep reminding y'all that. Listen, I don't want to keep getting 20% for another 6 months. Don't get me wrong. But I made the comment about this thing going to mainnet, and with the market conditions right now, especially like last week. If we would have went to TGE a week or two ago, despite how much Wingbits wanted to try to help out its own token and do what it's supposed to do, that token would have been doing this, and you would still have people. You would have people out there claiming that this project is a scam, this project is a rug pull, this project is doomed to fail, blah 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 blah, and would have had all kinds of issues where it was not Wingbits' fault at all. But luckily, we didn't go to TGE. We all know when this thing goes to TGE, the price is going to drop. Because you're going to have people right now, and I'll talk about this all the time, people who are going to say, I have to hurry up and sell. I have to hurry up and sell, because you look at all these other deep end projects. Technically, they're not wrong to a point. But I've also said, you can't be in this hand selling and in this hand typing, look, I told y'all so. Y'all should have been selling because the price is dropping. No shit. You're part of that. I'm telling you right now, again, I've showed y'all how I screwed myself over every other project. Look, I've been hurting bad. I've made it no secret, but my wife hates when I tell y'all that. I hate telling y'all that, because no other YouTuber ever tells y'all his own personal. Y'all say y'all like it because I'm a personal and I'm a real person. Look, I got kids in college. I got a senior in high school who's doing all the senior stuff right now, playing softball. Times are tight. I still owe the IRS money before the end of the year, even though I took extra out on taxes. I still don't understand how that happened. And I got some other things going on. I got deer hunting season started in Mississippi. Haven't bought a license yet because they're $300 or whatever. I got to buy my son a license also. $400. I'm sorry. I don't know how much hunt I may even get done. Season might be halfway over by the time I buy a license. Times are tight. So listen, of course I want to go TGE. But the only tokens I have sold so far are some Crow tokens to help me pay some bills last week. And I made those Crow tokens over the last 3 years by swiping a card. I'm not selling my Wingbits tokens right away. I might screw myself like I did these other projects. Y'all want to do y'all do y'all. But don't be selling all those tokens and then sit here saying, look, the price is dropping. You know, we look at, I used grass last year as an example. Grass came out, it was like 46, 47 cents. The next thing you know, it's $3. Depending on how much people like the project, you know, you hope some investors buy it. You hope it's on some CEXs. You've had some CEXs already announced that they're going to be selling Wings tokens on their exchange. I hope that's accurate. I think it needs to be on a CEX. I don't know. I don't know what the meeting, this AMA is going to bring. I'll be honest with y'all. If they sit there and say it's going to be another 2 or 3 months before TGE, I don't know how I'm going to react to that. Because again, I'm talking on both sides of my mouth. This side of my face says 20% extra, 20% extra, 20% extra rewards. It's great. It's great. This side, it says it's about that time. It's about the time just to roll with it, take the chance. I hope y'all are set up. I know y'all keep saying Wingbits wants to be set up to make sure the token's ready and that they can support the token. He said he got some contracts. Yes, we don't want them to go too early where they can't support the token, because if you can only do TGE once, and if everything dumps after that, and then you're gonna have everybody. You're not gonna be able to sell. You're not gonna be able to sell devices. You know, you got some people saying like right now, well, people only can buy more devices because you're not TGE yet. No, I don't. I completely disagree with that. Completely disagree with that. But you know, I don't want to drag this out any longer. Let's see what they say. You know, I'm gonna have a rebuttal video about what happens in that. Actually, probably be discussing it tomorrow night in the live. I probably won't have a separate video. It'll probably be in actually tonight's live by the time y'all see this. So make sure y'all come back at 7 p.m. Central Time for the live. It's already set up on YouTube. So if you go to my channel, look up live, you'll see that, and we'll be discussing the AMA. I'll be taking notes during that meeting. All right, so moving on. Here we go. Combinder. Listen, a lot of y'all keep asking me to include Combinder. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to disappoint y'all. I try to keep up with Combinder, but this Telegram crap is for the kids. It's just, this is just to me this is everything in their different channels that Combinder has. To me, Discord is so much better. And I keep bringing up Discord, and they have zero intention going to Discord. And I just have a serious issue with that. The only thing in their Discord that people keep talking about are these peak contests and some kind of real contest, whatever the hell that is. The Get Real Season 2. Like, what the hell does that have to do with Combinder? People are more worried about the stupid contest than the project getting their peak that's down to like 6 cents. That's probably my next thing I sell, to be honest with you. Just to like, look, I lost my ass on peak, and just to stop it, I got a couple of $100 left in peak right now. I know I lost my ass on it because I bought a bunch of it at 40 cents, 35 cents, then 20 cents. But part of me is like, I really just want to exit out of it. I was hoping to go back to 7 to 8, 10 cents maybe, but it just keeps going down. And I still think part of it is there's not a single strong project on peak. And I keep holding out that sooner or later there'll be a good project on peak, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. The projects that were supposed to be on peak before it took so long for peak to come out, they've all moved to Solana and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Combinder. Again, I kind of scroll around, look, but I don't see anything. I am about to add two more. I'm about to add two more. Like I said, cleaning up my third-party Helium devices, and as I take them back to my office and rewrite the cards and do stuff like that, I am adding more Shelly plugs to that, so they will be on Combinder, because it makes life so much easier when I have to do a power reboot. I can simply just log into my Shelly app and I can do a reboot. So it just makes life easier. So I'm probably going to order, another one of these. I have 4 of them. I bought 3 from Amazon, and I bought 1 from Shelly just to see what the time difference was. Shelly took a little bit longer. They were tad cheaper, but then they charge the shipping. I have Prime, so it was okay. But it's still about the same. It just wasn't. I like ordering stuff from Amazon because I'm a purchaser and my orders thing, and usually the prices are pretty good. Moving on, just as confusion is BrushO, because BrushO is supposedly TGE because all your oral test net tokens were converted to BrushO, to Brush tokens. However, Brush is not out there. I have not found any kind of exchange it's on. There is a contract address that you can see, but I don't think that's really available anywhere. Like I said, I just sat here and typed in this entire contract address into the deck screener website, and it does not come up with a token for BrushO. So I don't know what the hell's going on with it. I do know as I brush my teeth every night and every morning with it, twice a day. I know I've had this thing since maybe August. I have 3 days left on the original brush head. I then now can swap to my brush head that came with it, and now I can go another 3 months with it. It's been charged, fully charged twice. The poor charger here is sitting here lonely because it's only need to be charged twice, and I'm using it twice a day again for the last almost 3 months. So I think that's pretty good for BrushO. So we'll see whatever happens with the rewards and stuff like that. Again, I needed an electric toothbrush. I bought it. It worked out. Price was somewhat comparable. I don't think it's the end of the world. People complaining about, oh, you have to buy their brush heads. Yeah, you have to buy their brush heads for $29 when you need a replacement. So when you buy the thing for 6 months, you will not need a replacement brush head. In 6 months, you will need, for $29, you need a brush head. And I think they give you enough for a year's worth of brush heads. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not the end of the world. Some of y'all just cry about anything y'all can cry about. It's not the end of the world. If you buy an electric toothbrush from Amazon or from Walmart, you're going to have to buy a replacement brush head at some point. I think y'all just cry to cry sometimes. 4D Sky. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about 4D Sky. Y'all know I am a huge Wingbits fan. Sometimes I feel like I'm cheating on my spouse when I sit here and deal with 4D Sky. I'm watching videos and I'm being told don't feel like that because it's not meant to be like that, but somewhat it is, because the way Helium deployed some of these places are pushing 4D Sky is that it's better, or it's an alternative to Helium deploy. I will say, for some of y'all who, I'm sorry, it's an alternative to Wingbits. I will say though, for some of y'all who are interested in Wingbits, y'all have contacted me, y'all DM'd me, y'all got with me in my Discord and said, hey, Grumpy, I am here in so-and-so city and state, and I really would like a Wingbits. Can you look at my address? I'll just look at the general town I want to put this in. Tell me, do you think if it's a good location? And I'll look at it and say, I'm sorry, bud, but it's not. You got 7 stations all around you within 50 to 100 miles. Your rewards are going to be piss poor. I don't want you to go buy a station for Wingbits at $450, $500, even if you use the Grumpy code. And then guess what's going to happen? It's going to take you forever to ROI. And then we don't know what the rewards are going to be with Wingbits. Come along 4D Sky. 4D Sky, who's brand new, is basically wide open. Now, the negative, their device is double the price of Wingbits. You don't know what the rewards are going to be for that. I know they got some websites that will tell you, hey, we can guesstimate the 4D Sky rewards. How can you when you have no idea when they're not going to TG for quarter 2 to quarter 3? This is me putting the facts out. I know my voice makes it sound like I'm slamming them. I'm not. I'm just giving you the facts so you can say that you had the facts, because even though none of this is financial advice, somebody's still going to make an asinine comment that I push 4D Sky on them. No, I'm just telling you it's an alternative. Basically, look at it like this. When you come to Wingbits and you see stations like this in your backyard, you know, if you put anything anywhere around here, you're not going to make jack. You're going to be making even with a really, really good setup, what you can make 20, 30, 40 wings. And this is how packed this is. Then you look at 4D Sky and you realize, brother, it's wide open. You're very, 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 very early in this project. You're going to need some very, 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 very much patience, because how a lot of people have lost their patience so far with Wingbits going TGE. Imagine this was, say, March of April of this year, and Wingbits talking about TGE. You know how that felt back in March, and here we are in November. That's about the time distance you're going to have between now, I think, in 4D Sky. 4D Sky is talking about Q2 to Q3. So you're talking about July, August, maybe September of TGE for 4D Sky. I want to make sure people are aware of that. But again, always Los Angeles has the first ones, always. But depending on where you are, there are some wide open spots. You look at Louisiana here, you look at Louisiana here, and you look at just the blue dots that ain't mine, and we are jam-packed. And they got more stations popping up over here to the west. None of these are mine. Makes no sense. That's why my rewards are going down. I couldn't figure out why I dropped only 200 wings a day. People, if y'all gonna get Wingbits, y'all have to look at this map and realize that if there are other stations around you, I'm not saying you have to go to 4D Sky, but it makes no sense. But I guess to you, to those, I mean, again, and your ROI is gonna be much worse. But if you want to put a station here and make 10 wings a day, that's on you. But again, you look at Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and then you come over here to 4D Sky and you look at Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas. So now you see why we say the opportunity, if you want to get into an air type project or something like that, ADSB type project, yes, you are going to pay more for the 4D Sky one. You are going to have to wait longer for TGE, but as of right now, and also one thing is, the positive thing with the price is, maybe you won't get as slaughtered as this, because some of these are DIY devices. I would venture to say 75% of these, not these, because these all just popped up. 75% of these right here are all DIY devices. This guy's been holding on to this hex. I question Wingbits. How has he been holding on to this hex? He must be paying every 30 days for almost a year now. But this station right here, this station right here and this station right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 are the only ones that popped up after hotfix devices got released in all these, but my general area. But anyway, 4D Sky opens up Wednesday. As you can see right here on Helium Deploy, they're going to be the exclusive sellers. Nobody else is selling this. Even if you go to the 4D Sky website, they're going to make you go here for the air squitter. Hit the, I have a link below for Helium Deploy. If you use that, it helps me out. Just even getting to the website, and you can purchase it. I'm still trying to find a straight answer on, is it really just one antenna, or is this included? I don't know. I'm trying to find out still. But when you check out, please, 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 please use the Grumpy Dad code. It's going to save you $50 off, because it's 10% off until $500, and after that it's only $50 off, no matter how much it is over 500. So this device, even though it's $900 something, would be only $50 off. Last but not least, the newest project I've been in for probably about 24 hours. Again, y'all have to be in my Discord, because we always got people throwing new projects out there. Again, you proceed at your own risk. We're all adults. But you know, when you have free projects, don't cost anything to get in. You know, look at 375 AI. 375 AI, we've made a little bit of money. Hell, even you look at Natix. Again, before the price token went down, I had almost $900 in that project as rewards, and that was a free project. So another free project. Somebody brought it to my attention yesterday. I have joined it. It is very, very new. Very new. So proceed at your own risk, not financial advice, all that spiel. But this project is called, if I can get this to scroll down, CapturGO. Basically, it is 375 AI reinvented to a point. This runs in the background of your phone. For right now, it is only iOS, only for iOS. But it is coming soon for, which is rare because normally it's the other way around. But it runs in the background of your phone and you capture hexes as you drive around. I don't know what really the big, thing is about it. They talk about doing this thing where it's like you can report potholes and different things like that. But for right now, you're just driving around. They have a Discord. If you go to their website, they do have a Discord. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see that they have of course, my fat head's in the way. You can see that they have a X account and you can join it. So they have an X account here. You can see they got 999, almost 1,000 followers, and you can check it out. Again, I'm gonna say this again. They're brand new. Don't know much about them, but I can put it on a spare phone I got. Let it run in the background like I do 375 AI. I got another, trip I'm taking this weekend for Thanksgiving for hunting, and I'm just gonna collect some hexes. No idea about any kind of TGE. I know they're not even close to that kind of thing. So if you're somebody who can't be in a testnet project for more than 3 or 4 months without going to TGE, this is not for you. But Osvaldo right here is talking about it's very similar to 375 AI, 375 Go, the more hexes map. So if you are in 375 AI, there's no reason not to join this one. Again, not financial advice. Don't hold this stuff against me. But again, it's a free project. We heard about it in my Discord. So if you're not in my Discord, you're probably missing out on some of this alpha, some of these projects. I'm not finding some of these. The people who were in my Discord are bringing this to us. Like, hey, I found this and I found this one. Some people found. I'm not interested in it. They look a little weird, a little funky. But again, this one works just like 375 AI. The big thing is, if you are interested in get this moved over. If you are interested in CapturGO or CapturGO, whatever it's called, please use my affiliate link below because it gets you bonus points to start once you start. So I think that it just helps me the channel out. Again, I appreciate it, but it's another one of these codes that it gives you a head start and gives you points to start off. So join CapturGO or CapturGO. Use my link below. I really appreciate it. And so we'll see. I know it's gonna be a long video. I'm sorry, I gotta go back now. My nose is killing me. Allergies are killing me right now. It's 85 degrees in the end of November in Louisiana. Then this weekend, it's supposed to get down to 30 degrees for hunting. It's supposed to be 30 in the morning and almost 67 in the evening. 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the evening. We're all gonna be sick because that's what happens to us. These allergies and sinus infections and stuff. We all get sick when this weather changes wild like this. But it is what it is. You can see right now my allergies are killing me. My nose is itching and everything. So thank you all for watching. Be back again tonight with a live discussing Wingbits. Please make sure if y'all are in Wingbits, please try to make that AMA. I'm going to put some Twitter X things out. I'm going to make sure I tag it in my Discord, and I'm going to try my best to try to get the word out. I want to see 200 people, at least 200 people in that Discord. I want to find out from Mike what the record is. I want to bust that record. I want them to see, I want Robin to see that we are all in this thing and we're curious. We want to know what the hell's going on with this project. So see y'all at the Wingbits AMA in a few hours from when you watch this, and see y'all on my live tonight discussing the AMA. Let's get it.